Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Prosperity and Health Alliance. I'm your host, Wei T. Lightheart, and I'm joined here with Creel Hutchinson and Siha Top. Welcome, guys.
Hi,
Hi.
welcome aboard.
We are excited. I mean, here we are. We're coming up to the end of May. The Enagic convention is coming very close. We're down to what, 60 days away, something like that, 2 months away, approximately. So we want to be planning for that, getting ready for that. We want to be growing our teams. We want to be focusing on the areas where we're going to get the most leverage, the most growth. All-out massive action, made a big push. We've got a lot of guys that are pushing for ranks. Seahaw's pushing for rank. Creel's pushing for ranks. Our teams are pushing for ranks. So we need to double down on our efforts and stay focused. That's a really exciting time. These guys are working in your business, so make sure you're going the extra mile to work in theirs. They'd never ask you that, but I'm going to ask you on behalf of them because they're very, very close to getting that point. So you're going to get to those stages at some point in your life. This is a team effort, so I hope that you guys will, find a way to go the extra mile. On the other news, we've got a lot of people in the team that are making ranks, going to the next level. There's going to be a ton of people coming out to the convention. They're pulling out all the stops of this one. You don't want to miss it. And tonight, what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about quickly finance options reviewed, the e-program secrets, how to introduce financing inside your business, what to do, what not to do. And we're going to try and keep this nice and quick and concise. There's been a request to keep things a little bit punchier. We want to give as much as we can, but we also want to be concise. So we are going to work on it. We are setting timers on ourselves tonight to try and keep this thing. And we're going to get to the questions at the end. Now, keep in mind, we will answer whatever question that you have at the end, even if it's not related to this topic. That's part of what we want to do. So we want to reach out so that we're available to you guys, both Creel and Siha and myself. We're really busy doing a lot of things, but that doesn't mean we don't want to take the time in Monday nights tonight. So welcome to the team. I'm going to turn it over to you, Creel, to kick things off. If you can pull up your PowerPoint and rock and roll. Let's go, buddy.
All right, let's do it. Let me just put this in mode. All right, everybody, welcome aboard. So we're going to focus tonight. The main objection people have with our product is usually it comes down to the cost. So we've gone through the inviting formula. We've gotten people into really great conversations. We identify what they're looking for. They want one of our machines, and it's going to come up the cost. Right? So our solution to that is being creative and offering them finance option conversation or the business option conversation of how to make it back through referral. So we're just going to focus on the financing options tonight. How much is it? People will always ask this question. Here's what I say consistently. I do not say, oh, it's $5,000 or it's $4,000. If people hear that without a real context of the value, it's a real turn-off, especially if they turn around and tell somebody like their husband that it's a $5,000 machine. Not a good way to go. So how much is it? When I get that question, here's what I say. We have a wide range of systems from $1,480 to $5,000 depending on your specific needs. Many people finance for $100 to $120 a month. I focus on the monthly payment, $100, $120, which is very reasonable. People are doing that all the time. So here's the finance options, because people will generally go like, oh, what does that look like? Or I say, does that interest you? And then we're talking finance. So let's talk about the four main ways that people can pay for our systems. They can pay in full, which is cash, or credit card, or personal or corporate check. That has a 10-day processing just for notes. Or through private financing. In Canada, we offer MetaCard and PM Financials, which for the SD51 is about $100 a month. For the K8, $120. For the entire trifecta, $225. In the United States, we've got lots of credit card applications we can apply for. They basically run zero interest rate for 12 to 24 months. I think the guys are going to cover a little bit more of this after I'm done. I will really want to focus on the e-program tonight. Third way, so sometimes when people understand, hey, that they're going to be paying, especially with the MetaCard, if they're paying something like 10% a month, they might decide, oh, you know what, I can get a better credit with my own personal credit card or a line of credit with a pre-developed relationship with their bank. So, and I support that to happen. If those things don't work out, they can't pay for it in full, the financing didn't get approved, they don't have the relationship with the bank, the fourth thing that we want to let people know, but we don't, it's kind of like we always want to keep our powder dry, as Jordan Belfort likes to say. We don't let every trick out of the bag right off the bat. So the Enagic payment program is saying, you know what, we have a program that might work for you. It's a no credit program. with some really special features. So here's the benefits. There's no credit check. People pay $10 a month for an installment charge. So if they look at it for like an SD 501 or a K8, that works out to about 3% interest. So it's really below prime, like in the prime area. They pay approximately 20-25% down. On the Level R, Junior, and ANISPA, they can pay it off in 3, 6, or 10 months. And you can find all this information on enagic.com in the download sections with all the different e-programs. On the SD501 and the K8, they offer the additional 16-month option, which a lot of people will take. It counts for a full sale, and people will be able to get a business ID from it. So this was great. This program is very powerful because it lets a person like myself, who couldn't afford the system in the beginning and who didn't have good credit, I financed my program, my original machine, my top business ID. So it can be taken, it can be used in really great ways. Unfortunately, there's some drawbacks to this program. You only get paid the special point, and we'll refer to that as the SP, with your down payment. So on 8 points, let's say someone buys an SD501, 8 points times $50, $400 gets paid out in commissions right off the bat. The rest of the commissions get paid when 100% of the system is paid off. Generally, that looks like 16 months down the road. Enagic has a poor tracking system, which leads to, I feel, about 20-25% default on this program. We're going to talk about the secrets of how to reduce that number to as low as possible, right? Additional distributor responsibility is required to make this program effective. That's what we're talking about tonight. Can only e-program one system and the UCAW at the same time. You cannot do a full trifecta, which would be 2 systems plus the UCAW. So when you're presenting this, you need to know that when you're leading with the trifecta. Distributor needs to, so you've got a program, you've got someone going in on the e-program, and there'll be additional information need to be filled out with the paperwork, including a picture, a photocopy of their driver's license sent in. You want to check the credit card expiry date when filling out the paperwork. Often people will go for the 16-month program, and you'd be surprised, I would say maybe 50% of the time, the credit card will expire before the 16 months is over. You have to check this, make a note. I suggest write this down in your calendar. Remind the customer that you will be calling to get the new credit card info on the month it expires and submit it to Enagic personally yourself. Do not expect Enagic to get this from the customer or for the customer to willingly call this in. They won't be notified, right? So it's really up to us. It's the easy thing to do, put it in your iCalendar or however, your smartphone, make that alarm go off, call, get the new information, submit it to the Enagic financing department personally. So really, really important. Number 2, you need to track the payments. You call the LA Finance Department after the first month to make sure the e-program payment has been processed. Occasionally the system defaults and the customer does not get charged the first month or any month after that. I have had this happen in the last 5 years. Very embarrassing to try to get the payment for 16 months, 18 months later when you realize, oh, none of the payments have been made. People genuinely come into the program, I believe, wanting to make all these payments. So when Enagic and the paperwork end kind of makes things a little bit challenging for that, it's really difficult to get them to think about making those payments 18 months later when they think they've already paid for it. We need to personally do that ourselves. So you will be given the amount owing. So when you call in Enagic to the finance department, I'll give you the number in a moment. They will not tell you if it's been paid or not. What they'll tell you is the amount owing still on the machine. And so you will take that, subtract one payment, and figure out if they've actually been processed or not. Or maybe you wait 2 months. But I suggest do it right away. Right? So there's a little tip. Here's another tip. Make sure to do it after 5 months, after 10 months. And really, it's a matter of saying, how badly do you want to get paid for your hard work? Because I have literally tens of thousands of outstanding dollars in the e-program that I will never earn on. And when you build a large organization, that number will grow to hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if we embed this into our method of operation and our business right off the bat and teach it to other people, we'll get paid more likely on a lot more of that. And maybe we'll have a 5% non-follow through on the e-program. So you want to call the LA Finance Department 5 and 10 months after the e-program. payments to make sure they're still being processed. Sometimes credit cards can be changed, or someone will lose a card, and so they'll need to cancel. So that won't be registered with any of their monthly payments, so we need to catch this ourselves. Enagic only sends a letter and sometimes calls people. Not very effective way to be a collections, which is essentially what's happening. So we want to support the company to do that. Very important. Here's some tips. Book the checkup calls in your calendar. So, a month later, also when you saw that the credit card was going to expire, and then call in the 5th and 10th month. If you do that, the chances of you getting paid, which is a significant amount of money, on an SD501, you're paying out $22.80 by the company. $400 have gotten paid out, so there's literally $1,880 of commissions for distributors on the table. It's worth kind of doing these extra bits. Let the customer know you will call them if any issues arrive. The Enagic LA department, finance department, is a direct line. You need to have the customer's ID number. When you call into the LA department, and you will be on wait line for probably 20 to 30 minutes. It's really busy, so you can check a maximum of 5 IDs. So have your genealogy printed out and mark the amount owing on the genealogy in the open spots, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. For separate, there are separate international offices for e-program, so if someone does it in the EU office, you can't call Enagic LA and get the EU office e-program. You have to go back to the office or the sales area where the Enagic payment program system, the sale was processed. Genealogy reading. When the customer name, so as your business grows, we order our genealogies from the Enagic website or from your direct local office, usually faster because you've got a relationship with them. So when you're reading that, sit with your sponsor or your upline so you can really understand how that reads, because it's kind of foreign language the first time you check it out. When the customer, a name appears twice, this indicates an e-program purchase. The first line is the amount that the SP was paid out to you. The second line remains empty, and that will be completed when the full Enagic program is completed. You check the far left side of the row for the start and end date, so you can really see this. And it's very clear which machine it was. Place the amount remaining in empty commissions column and track them from call to call. So when I call into the finance department, I have my e-program in front of me. I've already know where people are at, so I'll ask, give them the ID number. They'll give me the new number that's owing. I can double check that with my last call to make sure it's a smaller number. Thus, I know the program's still happening for the person. Right? Occasionally, you'll find out that 16 months has gone all the way through. You'll call in because you haven't gotten paid, and you'll realize there might be 1 or 2 late penalties, which is a $20 fee from the company. So there might be $20 or $40 owing that needs to be paid off in order for you to get paid. A lot of the times, I'll just pull out my own credit card at that point, make the rest of the payment myself rather than going back to the customer just to expedite the process. So there's a little tip. Here's what your genealogy looks like. The arrows indicate that there was an e-program, and this happened a long time in my business, so this is a rough thing. So you can see in number 1, the name Hillary pops up twice and Carla pops up twice. We're going to focus on the Hillary one. You can see there's an empty spot. That e-program never got paid all the way through. Number 2, you can see Inga, name pops up twice. The second arrow, you can see that there's 2 money values. That e-program got paid off. Example number 3, Todd. So it's an e-program, name pops up twice. You can see I got paid $150 the first time on the special points, but the system never got paid off. That's how you track it in your genealogy, and you want to be able to show your other distributors the same thing, right? And here's a little truth bomb from you. This information will make you tens of thousands of dollars on the way to 682, or it'll cost you that much. Commit to these suggestions today and teach your new people, right? Duplicate good habits and follow through. Why? You will make more money along the way. The reality is the income that you've already should earn from the sale is sitting on the table. If you take these steps, you will get you will receive it, right? So literally it's cost me a lot of money to where I am right now, and I know it has for Wade and Seahawk. So we built this into my business 5 years ago. I would have gotten paid a lot more on this and would have had better relationships with some of my friends that didn't pay it all the way through. So that's a little review of the Enagic e-program systems, and I hope you got some good value out of there. Back to you guys.
Great job, Creel. By the way, and kudos to Creel for going through these details and believe me, I'm encouraging everybody in our teams to incorporate this. Treat your business like a business. You need to pay attention to the numbers. You need to pay attention to this. And it cost me a lot of money, and I've seen it cost some of the top people a lot of money, and also creates bad blood. And the reality is this, guys. Remember, Enagic pays out 72% of this in commissions to us. They are a manufacturing company and a distribution company. We're in charge of running everything else. They do a great job of that, and as soon as we take ownership and understand the reason why we get paid this much is because of that relationship, and they recognize that they're not good at that stuff, then it changes the mentality, it changes the emotionality, and you know what? It gets really clear and I made that error early on, and it processed out into my team, so I have to take responsibility of that. I want to thank Creel for sharing that today, because kudos to you. I think this is really great. We'll make sure that this PowerPoint is available to everybody to share with your teams. That'll come on the PH Alliance emails. Now, switching gears, I'm going to talk to our good buddy and finance master, of course, coming from the mortgage industry in the past, the guy that taught me about the business, about the numbers of how this works. Mr. Sehatop, I want to ask a question I think a lot of people are on. How do you introduce financing options? Because in my opinion, there's nobody in all of Enagic that kind of does this in such a smooth, easy, comfortable way, and that comes from your 20-plus years of history in that business. Can you share your strategies around that for everybody on our team?
Yeah, I sure can. Thank you, Wade. Thank you, Creel. That was excellent, and the word needs to get out there, and you did it superbly, so thank you so much for that. It's concise and easy to understand. And that's what we have to do in our business. We have to make things concise and easy to understand, and easy for our clients to feel comfortable in moving forward with whether it be the purchase or in the financing. The big ticket item or small ticket item, you know, whether you're buying a house or a car, or in this case a KANGEN unit or the Yukon, we want to make sure, we want to help our clients finish that transaction as easy as possible. So I guess the magic in it is, you know, helping them all the way through. Now we help them with the presentation, and now it's got to be a smooth transition to getting their machine. Now let's find a way to get one on your counter so you can get this fresh. How can we do that? You know what? It's as low as $50 a month for one of our amazing machines. You know, and if you want to do the trifecta, which is for the business owners, it's as low as $90 per month, and that's, you know, subject to your credit. And let's figure out, you know, what we can do for you. So again, you know, it's that smooth transition. It's giving them, you know, what do they expect for a payment? You know, so if we start out with the $50 up to $90, remind them, you know, subject to approval. You know, but let's find out. So when you go, let's find out. It's not a harsh sell. It's not a, well, let's see what let's see what you got. You know, it's let's find out together, and I'll help you all the way through. And some of the top teammates that I have that are, I call them, they're financing kings and financing queens, is because they've got it down. And how do you get the financing down? Well, like Creel said, you offer at the point of, let's get this unit so that you're manufacturing fresh KANGEN water for you and your family on your counter. How do we do it? Pause. You know, do you have a credit card? You know, do you have do you want to pay it cash? Give them the options. If not, let's go into the financing options that we have. You know, we have for the U.S. we have the bank that we've gone to a lot is Comerica. We have a really good relationship with Comerica. Comerica, the operators at the other end know about Enagic, know about the price machines and the price points. And you know, if you've got a PIN, the direct number for Comerica that we call that goes straight to that financing department is 1-800-292-1300. And we'll repost this again. But you know, 1-800-292-1300. That goes straight to Comerica. So when we call that phone number, just like we do a three-way call to edify on our product, or a three-way call to educate somebody on the business plan or the family health plan, we do the same thing with the financing. So we'll schedule an appointment. When can we call this? You know, can we do it first thing in the morning? Because they've just seen the presentation, and of course, our presentation is usually in the evening, and so they're we can't do it then. We'll say, you know, the bank opens at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. What's good for you? We can start as early as 9, you know, all the way till 5 o'clock. It's a 9 to 5. It's a bank. And let them decide, let them tell you what time is it. So you're not pressuring them. You're matter of fact, you're making it easy for them because you're putting in their mind that, well, I'm going to be there with you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to call in a three-way. And then when we call Comerica, we get the operator. I introduce myself. Hi, this is Siha, and I've got a client on the line with me who wants to finance an Enagic machine in the range of $5,000. Can you please help them? I'm going to be on this end, and you can ask them all the questions. Bam! I step aside. The operator and the client, they answer the question that's due. With Comerica, chances are if the client has decent credit and income, you know, a job for more than 2 years, they generally will get that answer right there on the spot. That's pretty awesome. And if not, you know, something comes up or in the system where the banker can't tell us what the issues may be, or if there is any issues, they might say, you know what, the computer says we have to take a look at something and we'll call back tomorrow within 24 to 72 hours. They're really good at getting back 24 to 72 hours to call back and say, okay, you know what, the income ratio doesn't work, which means that the client doesn't have, based upon their credit report, they have too much debt for the income that they disclose. So the bank will come back and say, instead of 5,000, we'll give you 4,000 or 3,000 or whatever. And then we cross that bridge when we get to it. So again, walking it through with the client, being there for them, assuring them that they're going to get approval, you know, some way or somehow, if they've got decent credit. You don't need to be a banker. You don't need to be a finance whiz. If you know some things about credit, because we've all applied for financing, we know there's credit scores. And for Comerica, it's like 660 credit scores, and they'll work at 625 credit scores. They'll work with you. That's what we've done that for over 5 years with Comerica. As of lately, as of the last 5-6 months, and I've got amazing results on this way of financing, is with KeyBank. Our good friend Kim Patrick is a loan officer for that specific department for revolving debt for credit card loans, and we have Kim's direct number, and so I've shared that. Again, we don't have to be a banker. You know what? Just call Kim, and Kim will handle it. Kim is a distributor, an Enagic distributor as well, so she knows what we're looking for. She knows all we're looking for is to get an approval for our clients. So Kim at KeyBank here in the U.S., her number is 206-674-6575. Again, 206-674-6575. With Kim, I just send them, and I don't even call on Kim. I don't even do a three-way because I know Kim knows what to ask, and I know, you know, she's going to handhold the clients all the way through. And to get personal service like that on our product, come on, guys, this is absolutely amazing. Because to move products in anything, you have to make the financing easy. If you walk into a Toyota dealership and you want to buy that car, they want to send you home with that car. People don't come ready for financing. You have to guide them through. So they have for Toyota or any other car dealership, user or new, they have financing available. So think of yourself, we're a real business. They're coming to us to buy a product. We need to have financing available, and we do. Okay, so there's many other banks. Citibank, I'm not going to give you the number. Chase Bank, again, those are my top picks. If you can't get through Comerica and KeyBank, or vice versa, KeyBank and Comerica, yeah, chances are is, you know, don't move forward. That's my honest opinion. Okay, and for Canada, I just recently connected with another distributor, an Enagic distributor, who also works for a financing company in Canada called Enagic Financing, and his name's Charlie Vale. Charlie Vale is a distributor. He's also a 6A with Enagic, so he knows, he understands the business. I don't have to explain anything. I just have to refer my clients, you know, to talk to Charlie and let them get approved. Okay, Charlie's number is 604-506-8518. One more time, 604-506-8518. What I'm sharing with you is the key to financing, and that is to talk directly to the person who's going to help the client get the approval. They're not having to go through this operator, that operator, push zero, you know, push all these keypads. That's really important. You want them to get to the main person, and that's how you work through the system. So that's Canadian financing, and guide your clients. Let them know that once they get approval, it's just a credit card. It's like you're applying for a Visa credit card. And what happens is once you get approval, you want to tell that bank to overnight your card. It's in the U.S. It's $12 to overnight the card. Once you get the approval, they call you and they tell you the approval. If you don't tell them to do that, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks before you get your card. So that's very important, right? So tell them that you need the 24-hour overnight card for $12. I always, and I tell my teams, always get the app when you're selling out when we're filling out the application to order these machines. Get all that out of the way. Do the financing. A lot of people do the financing and then come back to the paper. No, you want to have everything done. The only thing that's missing is the credit card number, and that's where you tell them you order the 24-hour shipment. As soon as you get your credit card, open it up, call me so I can fill that in and get the number for you and get it processed. Again, we're guiding people all the way through. We're telling them the steps. That's very key. And if you haven't done this, it's okay. It's just practice. Once you do one, it gets easier on the second one. It gets easier on the third one. It gets easier on the fourth one. It just gets easier and easier. It's just if you've never done it, this may sound Greek to you, but it's not. It's really a simple 1, 2, 3. Call, be on the three-way with them, or direct them to the banker, and then remind the clients when they get the approval to have it 24-hour, the credit card, and then you fill in the paperwork, send it in, and you're done. So that's my tips for financing. I hope everybody huge success with this.
Great stuff, Siha. And I want to add, I want to ask a couple of questions from you too, since you're so well versed in this and you do such a great job. Let's say the person gets refused. What is the strategy that you implement? Their credit score wasn't in. Where do you go from there? Because I think that's a question that happens for a lot of people. They don't have the credit scores, that sort of thing.
And that's pre-qualifying, just like in anything else. We pre-qualify the clients. They got to have a job, and so you should ask them before you spend the time to go and talk to an operator. You pre-qualify them. Where have you worked? How long have you lived where you've lived? What cash flow do you have coming into your household? Is it, are you retired? Are you getting alimony? Are you getting rental income? All that factors in. Now, it's just common sense. If you have, $1,500 on your credit card's worth of bills, car payments, credit card payments, refrigerator payments, whatever, on your credit card, and you make $2,000, obviously they're not going to qualify you. So don't even go there, right? So you can pre-qualify them ahead of time because, again, you make $2,000, gross or net, it doesn't matter. Your disposable income is nothing because you have $1,500 of credit card debt and all other kinds of debt online. So if that's the case, then you have to work around. Can you bring in a co-signer? Can your husband, can your wife, can your mom and dad, so that helps a lot before you get the decline. And if you do get declined, because that's what your question was, if you do get the decline, then okay, you have another option, maybe another bank, find out why you got declined, okay, because the first bank's going to tell you credit issues, this or that, income's not enough, and then we fix it, we find a fix before we go to the next one. Okay, so that's the first thing that I would do. If they got declined or they got a smaller amount, let's say we requested a $5,000 credit line and they got approved for $2,500, because that happened, right? So then we would take that approval, but we'd go to another bank. So say we went to Kim first and she got $2,500 approval from KeyBank, then we would go to Comerica and we try to again apply for another $5,000. And if Comerica comes back with $5,000, you're fixed. But if it doesn't come back with $5,000, it comes back with $3,000 or $2,000, you got what you were looking for. Now you just have 2 credit cards instead of 1. So you're just getting creative a little bit, and so now you have 2 credit cards instead of 1 and 2 payments, because based upon your income or whatever, right? And so if it goes further where you've got a decline, and credit's the issue, income's an issue, we have to look at the customer. Are they, do they really want this technology? Can they really afford this technology? Because we have to decide, now help them decide and help our Enagic company to see if the e-finance or the payment plan, Enagic payment plan, is the right thing for them. For myself, you know, in 2008 when there was a recession and my credit was, you know, went to hell in a handbasket, I'm going to tell you, because I lost some properties in Florida. You know, no credit card was going to give me anything. I had stellar credit before that. So thank goodness for Enagic, because that's how I was able to finance my machine. Enagic has no credit checks, no interest. All they do is charge a $10 service fee. Thank God. Thank God for that, because I owe Enagic for financing my business, you know, financing my family's health, financing all the, so I feel totally indebted to Enagic. So I work even harder to make sure whoever I'm putting in an Enagic payment plan, we have to judge, because anybody can approve for it. You can get approved for it, but we still have to look at it as a professional. Should they be on this, or are they biting off too much? Or, you know what, they're in the same position I was, they just needed a hand up. And if they do, this is what we should do. And this is why Mr. Shiro created that. We want everybody to have the technology, but we have to use our best judgment and common sense, guys.
That's great. That nothing but gold there. I'm going to ask you another question because it comes up, because I think this is a really important thing. And what are some things, and Creel, feel free to jump in on this, what are some things that you feel people, where they make mistakes in their financing, like when they go to the financing process, to start off? Let's say, so you got someone interested, what are the mistakes that you see distributors making all the time?
I think the biggest mistake is not being prepared for the pre-qualification. There again, because they're not used to doing this, and they want to just disclose, you know, all their bills because they have to, and it shows up on their credit report. But then they didn't think about their income is all, you know, is all of their income, or most of it, goes towards those bills. So that's the biggest mistake. So if you already know that, you need to already have a fix. Now you would need that cosigner, right? So you need that cosigner, because most people have decent credit. If they have a job or whatever, most people have decent credit, good enough to get a credit card. If you can get a credit card pretty much anywhere, you're going to get a credit card here. But a lot of people go in here blinded with the qualification requirements, and that is what's called, in the industry, called debt-to-income ratio. You can't just walk in there and say, I want to borrow $5,000 at payments of $50 a month when my bills are $1,500 and I'm only bringing home $2,000. The bank's going to go, you know, not going to qualify. So that's the biggest mistake that I see. So, you know, fix that before you go in. That's the biggest one. Credit, a lot of people do and don't know their credit, and that's understandable. You know, so if they tell you they have decent credit, the quickest way to ask that is, do you have other credit cards? If they have other credit cards, they have a good chance of getting this one. Do you have those other credit cards racked up? Meaning they owe a lot of debt on those credit cards. If they do, then you need to now think about the income that they need to qualify for it, right? If they don't, then they don't. You know, you can have 5 credit cards and no balance or very low balances on them, and you would qualify for another credit card, you know, with the financing here. So I see the biggest mistake is people don't factor in their income, their debt to income ratio. How much debt do I have to how much income? And the banker's not going to tell you that. They're going to say, I'm sorry, you don't make enough money. But that's too late. It's too late to unring the bell.
And see how, and what I've noticed, when you can confirm this, it seems to be a 1-to-2 ratio. So if you've got $1,500 worth of debt and you're making $3,000, you start to be in the range where approval will happen.
You want to be at, yes, you want to be at least 50%. You know, if you can be at the 40 and the 30 percentile of your income, then that's great. So, you know, so somebody like at a $4,000 income, 50% would be $2,000 in debt, you know, is all that they could have. So you want to make sure if you're at that number, you better prepare, maybe have your cosigner ready to go, because you're at $4,000, you have $2,000 worth of debt, have a cosigner on the wing making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 to make it stronger. So you're it's a 1-to-2 ratio. You want to be better than that. That's the limit. That's the max. You don't want to be below that.
And Wade, great, thanks, thanks, Siha. And Wade, to answer it from my end, I think it just needs a more qualification questions. So if I lead someone towards financing, I say, well, you know, how do you think your credit is? Very non-intrusive, offsetting. Oh, it's good. Well, you know, do you have credit cards? You know, are you carrying a load? Do you have your new job? You know, how long have you been with that? Because I know, you know, they kind of like to, in Canada anyway, it likes to be about a 2-year employment record with the same person. Improves that. So if they're starting a new startup or they're an entrepreneur and they've been 6 months doing, you know, a nutritional business that doesn't have those books and taxes paid for, I know that, hey, this may not register. So I prepare the client for that. We may still move ahead with the application, but we've prepared it that it may not happen, so there's not going to be such a a bummer or a decline that will throw the client off from not moving forward with the overall sale. So if we've prepared, set realistic expectations, and the decline does happen, we can still move forward without, like, you know, having that be the only path that we've negotiated from the beginning. And if that path doesn't work, then we've got no other backup. Just realistic expectations and putting it all on the table. Good qualifying questions at the beginning.
Great stuff, guys.
I want to share one more thing just real quick on that.
Please do. Please do.
Try not to commit to your clients on an interest rate and on a payment, because if you say, you know, the bank quotes you, you know, 9.9% or whatever it is, if it comes back at 10.25, for some clients, that's enough for them to say, I'm not doing it, because they think, you know, you weren't forefront with them, and that's not your job, right? So I always give a range. That's been many killers of deals, because distributors, or, you know, have said, hey, there's zero interest, or there's this or there's that, and it comes back just a little bit different, and the client doesn't understand, and they think that we can change it if they play hardball with us. So give a range, like payments. You know, I know it's with stellar credit, with decent credit, on a 5,000, it's usually 1% of the payment. That's why we say $50, right? But I always tell them it's a range. Depending on your credit, it's as low as $50 all the way up to like 75. You know, give it a $25 a buffer there, because when it comes back, if their credit is not so good and they have to go from a zero interest program to an interest program, you're not committed to it, and they go, oh, okay, you know, he warned me. That's another key factor for, I don't know if you guys deal with it, but I see it a lot, and I just want to prep people, because we get excited and we want clients to get the lowest thing, and they don't get it, and then they think we are the ones that are to blame, and it wasn't us at all. It's their credit. It's their situation.
Well said. And so I think to summarize, you guys want to add anything else on top of that? We got it covered?
I think we got it covered. Let's go with questions, I believe.
Really great. I'll just add one quick thing. I think to summarize everything the guys were saying is, number one, qualify your clients firsthand. Get a ballpark figure where they're at. Number two, be an advocate for them. Number three, don't overpromise and underdeliver. You say, hey, you know what, we're going to go through this, we'll go through the process. Be someone that is helping them get to put this amazing technology in their home, or to start themselves a new business for your family. And if you're coming from that place, from your heart, where you're generally trying to hang, you're not over-promising the farm, and you're just moving through the step-by-step, what happens is you have an opportunity inside that to build a relationship where the person says, you know what, this person is really significantly trying to help me, and people always appreciate and love that. So with that, I think you guys do a great job. Thanks for bringing this very, very, very important factor to Enagic. I wish I had had this when we started. Would have saved me a lot of problems. Take the time to learn it, incorporate it, and believe me, when you get a few years down the road and your business is churning out the kind of cash that is going on for these guys, for these gentlemen, you'll understand why they're so crystal clear about this now. And it'll save you a lot of problems. So let's go switch gears. We're going to go right to the questions. So if we can pull those up. So what do we have for questions? I don't think we have any questions. Was that it? Let's see. I've got good evening from Rodney. Well, good evening, Rodney. How are you? It's not really a question, but we appreciate it. We'll give it a couple minutes. While we're waiting to see if any more questions pop up here, can you guys see any more? I'll just say, listen, guys, we've got 60 days till the Enagic Global Convention. Big, 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 big event. Find a way to go. Get in a hotel room, book your hotel room, go with some friends, get some tickets. You want to be there because I'll tell you what, however many people you get there, that is going to be how much your business grows over the coming year. Believe me, the more team members that you have there, the more your business will exponentially grow. And in order to be that, you need to be there first. Even if it's only you this year, next year commit to have more people, and because it anchors on a social level, a social psychological level, where you see that this is working and that this is a global company, that people are making a lot of money, and there's some amazing testimonials on the health side. So here we got a question here that's coming from Kristen. The finance company that Siha was talking about was not key, talking about not Key Bank, but the other one. Is that only for the U.S.? Comerica, I believe
Yes.
it was.
Comerica is only for the U.S.
Comerica is only for the U.S., correct. And
Wade, I'll throw on top of that, I've got a distributor, a Canadian distributor that's got 6 or 7 tickets that can be purchased for 150 US. So she bought a 10-pack back at the beginning. So as people move around getting on board, there's some of the lower end tickets available. You can just reach out to me. I can connect you with them.
Great. I needed that.
Yeah, perfect.
a question for here, has Crealogics sped up? This is coming from Roger and Sabine. Hi guys, looking good on Facebook.
From my experience with Charlie, we just had one close like 3 weeks ago. It has. Charlie was able to get us in and get us out within 3 days. So I don't know what since then, I don't know if there's any holdup or anything like that, but check directly with Charlie.
Great stuff. Any other questions? Okay, here we go. So that awesome. Thanks, Roger. I don't think we have too many more questions. That's nice and tight. I think you guys did a great job. So moving forward, I know we got some events coming up. I'm going to be down in Richland in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to seeing the team down there. I know the guys are pushing really hard. Siha and Creel are all out massive action. So if they don't respond quickly as you'd like, understand they're pushing for their ranks, and if there's anything you can do to kind of help them push up the ranks, that'd be really great, because we want as many people going across the stage at the global convention, middle of July. Be there. It's going to be a lot of blast. And for that, I think
I'll throw a couple more events out their way before you wrap it up.
Yep.
Tuesday night in Vancouver, we've got a great lineup, so anyone in the local area, please come on out. And for the PH Alliance family in the Lower Mainland, we're going to host a party on June 11th at my place, potentially at Wade's place, but we're going to set it at my place right now, and that will start in the afternoon and go into the evening, so like a barbecue style from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. So hopefully you can make it out, and that will be bring friends, bring people from other groups or from other networks. It's going to be more of a networking rather than just a Kangen Water focus. Let's bring our friends from other areas of life and put them in a room with a lot of people that are properly hydrated and excited about what we're up to. It's a great social affirmation, and it's a great time to have some good fun. So that is June 11th, Saturday.
Siha, anything else?
Just want to thank everybody that's out there that's working so hard. I know the teams are just on fire right now, and you know, it's a great thing. I spent 2-3 hours today with Scott Duffy, and I've spent so many other hours with other team leaders that are just, you know, working so hard, like Wade said, to hit their ranks and get on stage in July there at the Global. I just want to thank you guys. It means the world to me that you guys get your rank that you set out your goal to get there. So thank you guys so much.
And I'd like to add on top of that, first I want to thank my co-hosts, Creel and Siha. You guys did an amazing job tonight on a really, really big issue. I also want to thank Kim, who's always behind the scenes, taking care of all the just making everything flow smoothly. I don't know what we do without Kim, so thank you so much. And more importantly, I want to reach out to each and every one of you that are listening in tonight and say, hey, you know what? You don't have to be perfect at everything. You have to recognize that every one of us has obstacles in our own learning, in our own development, and how we do this business. This business is a personal development program with a compensation program, and you will be compensated directly proportionate to the amount that you want to grow your business. And the more that you want to grow your business, the more assistance and help that will come in, and the more that you will be inspired to go out there and learn the skills and learn the tactics. Here's the reality, guys. To make the kind of income that we can make in Enagic, you would have to go to a top school, if you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be a doctor, and guess what's going to happen then? You're going to be working 60, 70, 80 hours a week after you've put 10 years and a couple $100,000, $300,000, $500,000 into an education program to get started. You put the same amount of time, you put in those 10 years, starting out wherever you were, to get involved in this business for $5,000 or $10,000. Guess what? You'll be making more money than that person. You'll have more freedom, and at the end of the day, you're going to help more people have a healthier life, have better finances. This is a business of compassion. This is a business that is not slowing down. The timing is extraordinary. The world is moving from bottled water to this. Social media is making this easier than ever. We've got the points of sales and distribution in place. We've got the team members that are going to hold your hand every step of the way. We've got the leadership from the top down. We've got a solid financial company, and guess what? It's only getting better. So keep plugging in, tune into the teams, connect with us. Of course, if you have any specific questions, you can reach me at wadelightheart@gmail.com. You have the Book Wade option. I will take the time out if you want to reach out and whatever you have in the questions. We're committed to your success. We really want you to do well. We really appreciate your efforts. I can't tell you how much that I feel so grateful that this business is in my life, and I know the guys feel the same way. And what I'm going to tell you, it's worth it. Whatever you got to learn, it's worth it. Whatever you got to reach past, it's worth it. Whatever uncomfortability you might feel now, it's worth it, because at some point in time you're going to be able to share your uncomfortability and how you overcame that to somebody else, and it's actually going to be this teaching point that's going to grow your business more than ever. So with that, I want to thank you all. Great job. We'll see you next Monday night. Be there.
Love you
Good night,
guys.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.